Hey, there you are. I am so glad that you stay tuned. Why? Because you're smart enough to realize that it's important to know what's going on in the real estate market. What's going on in the city of Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas. Why? Because I guarantee that you don't live in a cardboard box, and it's important for you to know what the median sales price is, housing inventory, what's going on with interest rates, what's going on maybe even with the rental market. So if that is you, and I almost guarantee that it is, stay tuned because we're going to quickly go over some of this information. But if I didn't go over something that's specific to you, please end up reaching out to me so we can go over it. So, what's going on with median sales price? Check out the chart. Literally, absolutely nothing. As you can see here, we're pretty much leveled out as far as median sales price. There isn't anything in any one of these three cities that's really worth necessarily talking about. Pretty much Las Vegas is right there, right along that $475,000 range as far as median sales price. Henderson is at $510,000, as you can see here. And North Las Vegas is at $405,000. Now you see that trend down, but I'd expect that it's going to pop back up to that $425,000 probably in the next couple of months, maybe as we move into the new year of 2026. Okay, so here we are, pretty much property values have leveled out. Okay, maybe for those of you who are looking to save, you guys are able to catch up a little bit. But what does it look like as far as like new properties coming to the market? Are we getting a massive flood of inventory of properties? Well, it's not necessarily from people putting their properties on the market, and you can see that from this chart. Now, it does look like we've had a pretty darn good uptick right here, but pretty much we're in the same spot that we were this time last year. We've got October, right? Well, let's go over to October of last year. Look at that. Okay, 1,800 homes. Where are we at now? 1,900 homes. Okay, it's pretty much relatively the same. And you can see that down here. These are pretty much flat. Okay, so inventory of homes, at least on new homes coming onto the market, really hasn't changed. What does it look like? What does it look like for the overall supply of properties? So we're having new properties coming onto the market, but what's happening with those that have been listed? Are those getting sold? Because if they're not getting sold, then they're sitting on the market longer. So it's kind of like that cup. You know, if the cup's not draining and the level of supply is not coming down and you're pouring more in, is that going up? Okay, well, let's check it out. All right, so this is homes for sale. This is the actual supply of properties. And you can see that we're up a good amount. Now, the number as far as a percentage is Las Vegas housing supply is up 12%. Henderson is up 12%. North Las Vegas is up modestly at 2.5%. So housing supply is definitely increasing, meaning that there's a lot more competition, which means that buyers have a much better chance of negotiating either a drop in price or seller concessions. When I say seller concessions, it's like, hey, I would like a credit towards my closing costs in this amount. Or, hey, I want these repairs to be done. Believe me, these sellers want to get their property sold because it's just sitting on the market for a lot longer than it has been. And so they're like, hey, you know what? You got it. Whatever it takes, don't leave, don't cancel the transaction. Stay all the way to the end. I want to get this property sold. So think about that if you're a seller, and definitely think about the negotiations and the leverage you have as a buyer. Okay, one other thing to pay attention to is that goes right along with what I was talking about is days on market. How long has a property been sitting on the market? Has it been increasing? That's going to give you kind of an idea as to what's going on with demand. Now, some people are arguing that, well, demand is actually falling off. But in my opinion, I think that either it's relatively the same, but at the same time, too, you've got ebbs and flows when it comes to the season or the time of year. When we're in the holiday season, fall into the winter, dude, the buyers end up disappearing. Why? Because they're not interested in purchasing a property when they've got holidays right around the corner. Their kids are in school, all of the above. All right, but the overall days on market, how long a property's been sitting there, check this out. Look at this. Look at that increase. So properties are definitely sitting on the market a heck of a lot longer than they have been, in comparison to this time last year. Look at, that's where we were this time last year. Look at where we are now. And that's for all three cities. So properties are sitting around longer. For those of you who are looking to go ahead and put your property onto the market, you might want to be a bit more competitive with that list price in order to get that thing sold and not have it just sitting, in a sense, rotting on the market, costing you a lot more money. Property taxes, homeowners insurance, the mortgage payment, HOA dues, all the above. Every time that month, a new month rolls around, you got to end up cutting that check. So it may behoove you to be a bit more competitive. All right, now to kind of change gears from single family, because that's everything that we've been talking about. What's going on with townhomes? Because not everybody's looking to purchase a $400,000 single family home. Townhomes, a lot less expensive. And you can see here by the chart, we're pretty much right there for all three cities in that $300,000 range. Las Vegas is at a median sales price of $325,000. Henderson is at $365,000, and North Las Vegas is at $323,000 for a median sales price for a townhouse. Now, what has been the change of supply for townhouses on the market? A lot different than we were seeing for single family homes. What I mean by that is, what's the percentage? The percentage of increase of supply of townhouses on the market for Las Vegas is at 43%. Henderson is at 70%. Think about the 70% increase in the supply of homes, or supply of townhomes on the market. And North Las Vegas is at 31%. These are massive double digits, letting you buyers know that, again, if you're looking to purchase a property, you may want to end up looking at a townhouse, because you're going to end up probably having a much, better chance of negotiating terms and conditions and things like that in your favor. Okay, now, when it comes to days on market for townhomes, it is astronomical, all right? Days on market, again, like we talked about, how long does it take for a townhouse to be put onto the market and for it to end up being sold? Well, what's the percentage of how long it's taking? All right, for Las Vegas, 24%. For Henderson, 105%. That is huge. It is taking twice as long to get a property sold in the city of Henderson than it did, this time last year. And North Las Vegas is at 46%. Okay, big numbers. And again, if you're looking to purchase a property, you may end up wanting to turn your focus to a townhouse, because the leverage there potentially for you to be able to negotiate favorable terms and conditions is just on your side as a buyer. But think about that if you own a townhome and you're looking to go ahead and get this bad boy sold. You're going to have to be a lot more competitive. So one thing I don't know, I did go over interest rates. Okay, all right. So one thing I want to show you guys that a lot of other people may not, and that is, what do these properties look like? For the city of Las Vegas, what does a $475,000 property look like? It's fine to show you charts and throw out numbers, but what do they actually look like? So right here is a beautiful list of 26 properties that are listed for that $475 median sales price for properties, single family homes in the city of Las Vegas. Now, the prices are not going to be any different than one from another. But what is going to be different is the square footage, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, the lot size. So you guys can see here that we've got a gambit of properties all over the city. Check this out. Look at that. They're everywhere. But what do these properties look like? Okay, well, here's a property that was built about 11 years ago. Beautiful, relatively newer home. There's the exterior, good sized kitchen, a lot of counter space, nice island. So you can see here that they've got some beautiful properties out there for $475,000. All right, now, if you go into some of the older communities, you're going to end up finding that some of these properties have been renovated. Obviously, some have not. And like here's an older property that has been renovated. Now, I will tell you this, for those of you who don't know, kind of what's indicative of lot size and the year in which the property is built. The older the property, the larger the lot you're going to end up having. So the bigger the backyard space. Now, this has got a big backyard and it's got a pool. So you can see here that, look, you get a lot of space when it comes to older properties. So keep that in mind. Newer properties, you ain't got much but a postage stamp, because these builders, they just end up cramming these properties into these communities to try to maximize how many properties they can get sold. And so what property, look, 1980, that was the one that we just looked at. Look at this one, 1988. I guarantee you're going to have a decent sized backyard. Let's see here. All right. This one too with a pool. Now you got a lot of patio space. Obviously this one needs some work from the exterior paint. But let me see here. Look at that side lot. I mean, you could probably blow that wall out that leads to the front and end up putting some RV parking in here. Now, this one here was built in 2007, and you're most likely not going to have really hardly any bit of backyard space. But anyway, again, $475,000 purchase price. This is what, it's getting you in the city of Las Vegas. Do we even have backyard? Look at that. There's your backyard space. I mean, it's not as if you don't have anything at all, but nothing like you're going to end up finding in older properties. Now, I don't want to make this, video extremely lengthy and, bore you, but it's important to pay attention to the stuff. But if you guys are looking to go ahead and either get specific information about your property, like what is my property worth? What could it sell for? And how much could I end up getting if I sold my property, either to purchase another property or do whatever it is that you want with the equity that you've built up over all this time of ownership? What could you walk away with? I am happy to give you that information absolutely free. I will tell you what your property can end up selling for and provide you with what's called a seller net sheet. That will end up giving you exactly what you could end up walking away with a really good estimate. I've been at this for so long, over 12 years, helping sellers sell their property and coming up with a realistic idea as to what their property could sell for, therefore giving them a realistic idea of how much they're going to end up walking away with. So good that I was at the title company signing the paperwork, informing them that, guess what? You are probably going to end up walking away with about this much. And I was only off by 25 cents. 25 cents. Okay, enough patting myself on the back. Just know that, whatever it is that I end up providing to you specifically is highly reliable. But otherwise, if you have specific questions about the process of selling a home, buying a home, whatever it is, please end up reaching out to me. Licensed real estate agent in Nevada. Do all of my business, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and the city of Las Vegas. Happy to go ahead and be everything I can for you when it comes to real estate, but I can only help you if you contact me. So please end up reaching out to me. Call me, text me, email me, visit my website, whatever you got to do. I am here literally waiting to assist you in any way possible. So otherwise, I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.